Are you thinking about hiring a ghostwriter? That's great. But now you've probably got all kinds of questions about what does that look like? What does the process look like? How's it going to work? Hi, I'm Naomi. I've been helping my clients write and publish their books for 19 years, and I'm here to tell you about my process as a ghostwriter. A lot of ghostwriters will use similar processes with your project. And while many of the specific aspects of what I do may vary slightly from other ghostwriters, by and large, most ghostwriters use similar processes to help get results. First, every single one of my clients comes to me with the same fear. What if their readers can tell? What if the book doesn't sound like them? What if it's too much of me and not enough of them? It's a common fear, and it's one of the reasons why you really want to talk to your ghostwriters and see if they can match your energy. If they can match your energy, they can adopt your voice. And also, a lot of things have to happen for you to hire a good ghostwriter, and that ghostwriter still sends you back a bad book that doesn't sound like you. For one thing, you have to give your story to the ghostwriter. If you hire me and you say, Naomi, I want you to write a book about social marketing 101, I'm going to say, yeah, I can do that. In fact, I have. But if you never tell me your story, your perspective, your unique take on social marketing 101, your unique view or side of it, your own formula for it, then what you're going to get back from me is going to look more like a book report instead of your book. So the ghostwriter needs your story. Every ghostwriter has their own process for how they're going to get that story from you. It might be recorded phone interviews or transcribed video chats or you sending in your own drafts. The exact method varies, but the results are the same. You have to tell the ghostwriter your story. Second, I like to get myself embedded into my client's community. And I mean nearly indiscernible from the rest of their audience. I will join newsletters, courses, I will listen to podcasts, I'll sit in their groups, anywhere I can see how they are communicating with their audience. And this allows me to emulate the type of relationship that they're already forging with their audience and ensure that it's being put into the book. It's not enough for me to just understand what your story is, but I like to understand how you tell your story, how you share your story with your audience. And unfortunately, a lot of times, if you're telling me your story directly, it's not quite the same as if you're telling your story to your audience. So I like to get into your audience so I can see how you say the same thing to them. Other ghostwriters will have a different style and a different method for figuring out what that relationship is between you and your audience and how to pull it into the book. Next, you've got to share your goals and your objectives with your ghostwriter. In fact, this is one of the first questions that I will ask a client. What are your goals? What are you hoping to get out of the book? What are your objectives? What are the things the reader is going to get out of the book? How does this book fit on the bookshelf? How does it stand out on the bookshelf? And for nonfiction authors, how does this book relate back to your business? How does your ideal reader compare to your ideal client? These are all important aspects for the ghostwriter to know and understand so they know what lens to look through as they are pulling your story together into a book. Once I have all of this information, then it's time to sit down and start building out that outline, as well as the plan for your book and the strategy for getting it written. This usually takes some authors by surprise because what they expect to be able to do is to give me a title and a topic, and then I will take off and go and write the whole book out and come back with a completed manuscript. It doesn't work that way though. I need to know more than just a vague topic of the book in order to get the book written, right? I need to know what your story or unique perspective is on that topic, what it is that you're hoping to give the reader, what your own goals are for the book, as well as setting up this outline and a strategy for getting it done. And you really do need to be a part of that process. The more involved you are with the planning of the book, the easier it is to get your voice into the book. And the more likely you are to be satisfied with the overall end result of the book once the ghostwriter does hand it to you. Next, Once we have the outline and the strategy set up, now it's time for me to get to work. This is where, if there are any interviews to be had, I'm going to be having those interviews. I'm going to be reviewing any of the materials that you sent to me, your drafts, your courses, your podcast episodes, any transcripts, any time that even your email newsletters, anywhere where I can find your story, any of the materials that you have sent to me, as well as interviews with you or sometimes other people in order to get that story out of you. It's all coming together. Now, some ghostwriters might do this part in tandem with setting up the strategy. They might set up the interviews at the same time that they're putting together the writing strategy. That's fine. Other ghostwriters might go bit by bit by bit. They'll interview you first, then go write a chapter, then interview you again, then write out the next chapter. And that is another really great method. Other ghostwriters, myself included, like to get all of the interviews out in front so that they can go back and write as uninterruptedly. Hi, I'm a writer. I use words as uninterrupted as possible. And then they may reach out with questions on occasion when they need to fill in a gap. Finally, it's time to move on to the actual writing stage, and this is where ghostwriters vary widely. I like to use Google Docs because I like to make it very easy for my clients to just log in and be able to leave comments and feedback on a schedule that works for them, rather than forcing them into yet more interviews and yet more calls that are going to take up time on their calendar. Most ghostwriters have some kind of a system set up to get that all-important feedback. It might be a series of calls again. It might be them sending you chapter by chapter or draft by draft, and then you giving them the feedback to course correct, anything along those lines. And here, I cannot stress this enough. When you are presented with the opportunity to provide feedback to your ghostwriter, take it. Please take it. You're not going to hurt our feelings. And even if you do hurt our feelings, well, it doesn't matter. It's your book. It's your baby. It's your story. We're just trying to put it into words. And therefore, our feelings don't really matter. Nothing is carved in stone. It can always get fixed. But you've got to tell us what needs fixing if you think we're off. And as long as you keep that communication open, you really won't have anything to worry about. And that's about it. The process of working with a ghostwriter is very collaborative, and it's very much a give and take. Sit down, strategize together, outline together, understand what the book is going to do for you and for the readers, get the ghostwriter involved. And then it's a matter of the ghostwriter getting your story, adopting your vision, and putting it into words, and then setting up a method of some form of feedback where you can review their work and then course correct and ensure that your voice is there from the very beginning. Now, I did start out this video saying that this was the fear that all of my clients have come to me with, but the truth is there are a lot of other questions about hiring a ghostwriter, when you should hire a ghostwriter, and how much does it cost. Good news, if you have any of these questions, I made a playlist.